All right, so the verdict is in. It seems like a lot of you really like the comparative format of reviews, and I'm okay doing that. But this is something that I want to address in a separate video before I continue to move forward with doing comparison reviews. Nuance. So, nuance is a big thing when you're talking about comparisons. It's very easy to oversell or undersell a particular aspect of a speaker's performance, especially when you have data. And what I mean is, let's say, for example, I have a speaker that has a little bit more distortion in the bass region than another one. And when I say a little bit, let's say one of them has, I don't know, 1% distortion at 50 hertz and the other one has 2% distortion at 50 hertz. At 50 hertz, that 1% difference isn't very big. But I could see the case where in a video review, I might say, yep, this one has more distortion. And then somebody would say, well, it's barely got more distortion. Okay, that's nuance. Another example could be where I say, hey, speaker A sounds a little bit brighter than speaker B. Well, speaker A may have a bump around 4 kilohertz, and it's going to cause it to sound maybe a little bit more sibilant or maybe a little bit more bright, maybe a little bit more edgy, depending on how you define it. And speaker B might be a little bit recessed through that region, but maybe speaker B has a little bit more elevation at, I don't know, 10 kilohertz to 12 kilohertz. Okay. So that is another area of nuance. And this is where you get into trouble when you talk about reviews of subjective terminology only. And this is really why I love having data. Now, in comparison reviews, I will do my absolute best to make things completely clear that when I say X, Y, or Z, this is what I mean. But it is going to happen inevitably where someone will have a question about, well, you said this, but I'm seeing this. And what I don't really want to have to do, and I'm not trying to make it sound like I don't want to have to defend myself. It's not that. I'm well past the word defending myself. It's more just making sure that the audience knows that there's definitely going to be some areas where I may not key into something to the degree that you might. There may be areas where subjectively, based on my experience and 250 different speakers in 20 years of doing this little aspect may not matter enough for me to mention it. There could be a case where maybe I say this one has lower bass performance than this other one, but technically, if you look at the roll off, maybe the other one has a little bit more bass at 30 hertz, whereas the other one has less, but at 60 hertz, the other one has more. So those are going to be areas of nuance. When you try to capture in a video, let me just tell you right now, making videos, especially making condensed videos, it's extremely hard to capture every single detail, every single nuance. And again, that is why I like having data. Now, it's been months since I've updated my website with all the data to be readily available. I'm not doing that out of spite. Honestly, it's just that my website, for me, is nowhere near the top of my priorities. If you all could see my dining room area, I'm talking boxes everywhere. Currently, right now, when you open the front door to my home and you try to walk in the hallway, I've got a big karaoke speaker that I let my neighbor borrow that he brought back over and set in my hallway for me, and I haven't moved that yet. I've got 2 electronics, I've got speaker stands, and I've got some other random boxes. I've been extremely busy like the last couple months, and some stuff is just falling by the wayside. I'll get to it. I still have, what's today? January 16th. I still have Christmas lights up on my gutters. So you can imagine that my website isn't really my priority. I will get to it. Don't worry about that. I will get to it. But I want to just make it clear that I do my best to have the data available. And so in cases where maybe I kind of skip over showing us a particular graphic for a review or for upcoming comparisons, just trust me that if it's not already on my website, it's going to be. I'm hoping that within like the end of the month that I can get this website back up to speed. I've got a big presentation at work in about 2 weeks that I've been stressed out about, and it's just been If I'm being honest, I've taken more naps in the past probably month than I have my entire life. That's like just the level of stress is getting to me. So, I'll be fine once that's over, but it's just been a serious grind every day to get prepared for that. And it's a pretty big deal. So, but I hope that you understand when I proceed to provide these kind of reviews and updates and comparisons that I will, because I'm human, I will leave things on the floor. And I will, because I'm having to edit these videos down to something that's manageable, I will purposely edit some things out that I've discussed in the video. Now, it's it's intentional what I choose to edit out. It's unintentional what I forget. I don't script any of my videos. I tried it like 5 years ago when I first started, and it was terrible. It is much easier for me to talk off the cuff, but unfortunately, that also means that I forget things. I do have a screen with notes ready to go that I can glance back to now and again, but I don't want to stare at a screen and read everything off while I'm talking to you over there, because honestly, that just seems really freaking weird, right? It just seems really weird. Another thing to keep in mind is that when I do these comparison videos or just single speaker reviews, there is no perfect speaker. Every speaker is going to be a trade-off. I think what you're going to find is that there's more trade-offs than you realized when I start doing direct comparisons. And I can give you a really good example. I can take two speakers that have pretty dang good flat anechoic response, not in a room, anechoic, remember they're two separate things. And then maybe one has 2 decibel bump at around 2K, and the other one has maybe a 2 decibel dip at around 2K. Now, objectively, you might look at those and you might say, well, they're both pretty close to flat. I mean, they're not perfectly flat, but all things considered, they're pretty close, especially if they're a more budget-friendly speaker. But those differences, you're talking about a 4 decibel swing, you're going to hear a pretty significant sound difference, especially if you listen to those two speakers side by side and you level match them. Once you level match them, that 2K bump is going to stand out much more than that 2K dip, and you're definitely going to hear the difference. But again, if you look at each speaker on its own, like in a vacuum, you're going to think they're pretty close. So that's why direct comparisons are really, really helpful to understand that, yeah, both of these speakers are pretty nominally flat, but the differences that are there, even though they're not huge, they're enough to make a very different sound when you're listening to them. Okay? Oh, and before I go, I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. I know that a lot of new people that are coming into these probably are overwhelmed by the data. Now, I do have a series of videos in a particular playlist, and I'll link it in the description below. And you can go through those. And what I do is I'll walk through all of the measurements and I talk about the importance of them and how you can apply them. I tried to touch lightly on the impact of each of these measurements as I go through the videos. But if I do it to any sort of detail where it'll make perfect sense the first time you watch a video, the video is going to be like an hour long, and I just can't do that. So if you really are curious what the data means and how to understand it, check that playlist link. Watch all those videos. It might take you some time, but you'll learn a lot from it, hopefully, and be better prepared when you watch some of my other reviews. And with that said, I'm out. Bye.